Hey guys, let's talk about measuring with a ruler today, okay? I'm going to show you a big blown up section of the ruler first, all right? So if you are looking at the ruler from that 0 to 1, I wrote it here and made it bigger so we can see what we're looking at, okay? So when we measure with a ruler, right now we want to forget all of these little lines in between, okay? We don't want them to mess us up. The big lines that we want to remember, of course, we have 0 and we have 1, and then right in the middle we have 1/2, okay? And then we have 1/4 and 3/4. Now you can think of a ruler like you could think of fractions. If I draw a rectangle up above and I split it right in half, then I have 1/2 on this side and 1/2 on this side. We're going to pretend those are equal right now. Then if I split it here, I have to make my pieces equal, and I have 4 pieces. So inside of your 1, we have 1/4, 2/4, which is the same thing as 1/2, 3/4, and 4/4, which is the same thing as 1. Okay, so you can think of it kind of like a fraction. Now, let's practice measuring. If I'm going to measure this piece of paper, I line it up at the 0, and I see where it goes to, and right now it's closest to 5. So that one was easy. We have 5, and this is in inches. I forgot to say that earlier. 5 inches on that piece of paper. Okay, let's try our next little piece of paper. We have, line it up at my 0, and see, we go past the 3, and then we go, the first line is 1/4, and we go to 1/2. So this one would be 3 and 1/2 inches. Okay, then let's go to my next little piece of paper. Line it up at the 0. We go past the 2, so we know it's going to be 2, and then we go 1 line past, 2 lines past. Oh, that one's interesting because it's right in the middle of a 1/4 and a 1/2. So I would say we were going to round up to 2.5 inches on that one. And my last one, we go past the 1, so we have 1, and then we have 1 line past would be 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. So this one's 1 and 3/4 inches. So one thing I always like to remember, you can kind of do a saying. We do 0, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1. 0, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1. So you can remember which lines we're talking about. We've got 0, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1. And then we start over. 1 and 1/4, 1 and 1/2, 1 and 3/4, 2. 2 and 1/4, 2 and 1/2, 2 and 3/4, 3, and it goes like that. Okay, so hopefully that helps you measure.